Welcome back. Welcome back to the Will Is Podcast. Yeah, we are back and we feeling mighty today. Yes, we are. Oh, yeah. You see the title of the show? I had another title, but I had to change it because I think it would be hitting too specific. So I didn't want to I ain't want to be so specific. I didn't want to be so specific. I wanted to hit on all four corners. I wanted to hit everybody from every angle. I wanted to make sure you understand where I was coming from tonight. So tonight's show is what you call Why Do Black Americans Struggle with Religion? You know I was coming. You knew I was coming. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, we're going to hit heavy tonight with some whip moments. Oh, this is the show I need to get off my chest. So prepare, button up. We about to go slapped up. We about to go out tonight. We about to do some. Yeah, we about to become inflammatory tonight. Probably. I hope you are mature enough to stay within your understanding. And I hope you don't take this so personal because it's going to be a lot of reasons why you will or you can or whatever. I really don't give a shit. But here we go with the first moment. Let me play some music so y'all won't be so goddamn mad at me. Let me. Shit, it's coming. I'm not apologizing. So, by the way, this show is extremely unapologetic. By the way, I just want to get that out there. This is not a well, by all due respect, ain't none of that shit. This show is unapologetic. You understand? Because the reason why I'm telling you that, let me get Jordan up in here. Let me get Jordan in here. Nah, damn it. The reason why I'm explaining why the show is so unapologetic is because of two reasons. It took a lot for me to get myself to bring my mind out of a state of confusion at a very young age. But I was called a lot of things. I was, yeah, I had to, yeah, I had, it was, it started a lot of shit. Started a lot of shit. I went years without talking to family members. Oh, yeah. When I started this path here, man, I think you have to be relentless. You have to be extremely unadulterated, unapologetic, because at the end of the day, the people that are around you and the people that do know you, they're going to get some out of your quest too. And a lot of times when you're successful, that make them want to go, be successful too, because they can and they shall and they will. You got my blessing. I made it through. It's hard, it's tough. And at a time when I went through my quest, it was not popular. Shit, to be honest with you, I missed out on a lot of ladies that I could have dated. I told me I had to be a Christian. I said, shit, no can do. Your little old coochie and me lying to you ain't worth the sacrifice of my sanity and me betting on changing your mind. So I had to let your ass go. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you took a lot of blows from standing on your shit. That's how you end up. If you get married, if you youngsters out here, if you get married, that's how you know you end up with the right person. That's how you know life went right for you because you stood your damn ground. You stood on your two, and you made decisions for yourself and those that were with you. Yeah, they kept coming with you. So understand. Check this out. Let me get some music playing here because we're gonna start these whip moments. Oh yeah, we finna get real. We finna get real tonight, y'all. It's gonna be real, some real shit. I'm trying to tell you. I'm coming for you tonight. Some of y'all might unsubscribe and might not like me. And that's okay, because at least I know who's with me. That sucks. I don't like that shit. It's braggedy ass music. I don't like that shit. What we got next? We was on that last night. Changing the station. That shit kind of cool though, but I'm changing this shit. We'll throw it off, but different. We're going to rock with it. So check it out. The show tonight. Why do Black Americans struggle with religion? First whip moment. We going to go with the complete false history. Turn this music down a little bit, though. Can't hear my damn self. All right, check it out. The complete false history. I call religion a history with no dates, but you can date when it came about. I'm gonna do a sharing of some books for you guys. Of course I am. Yes, of course I am. So check this out now. Check it out, right? So, what we got here is let me just go and show you the first book. The Deceptions and Myths of the Bible. Lord Graham's study, he claims his uncovering these deceptions and myths will help everyone acquire sufficient enlightenment and knowledge to discover what is false. Mr. Graham believes that it was time for a spiritual tyranny was broken so that we may devote our time to man instead of God and to civilizing ourselves instead of saving our souls that were never lost. Oh, damn. So you mean to tell me your soul was never lost? The soul that you was born with? Did your parents sell you out? I'm just asking. Anyway, let's get to what this book covers. It's a good book. It's a very, very thorough book because it goes in so much detail. But premise: a genetic cosmo concept, causation, energy, planetary elements, qualities, laws, biology, forms, cosmic forms, summaries, the scriptures, the counsel of truth revealed. Chapter 1, Genesis or creation. The priestly account, divine fire. Let's get into some of these pages, shall we? Oh yeah, hell yeah, we going to right now. All right. First of all, let's start with source energy. That would be page 14. Silence, coeval with eternity. Thou it wert, ere nature's self begin to be. Twat. One vast nothing all, and all sleep fast in thee. Alexander Pope. For the creation of a thing so vast as the world, creative intelligence must have a vast amount of matter. The second question is, where did this matter come from? Through scoffed at but a few years ago. It is now known that matter is but congenial energy. It implies that congealing process and a precoat electron. Dr. L. Lagmere called the source quantel, a significant term as we shall use it. A more familiar name, however, etheric energy. But is this the ultimate source of matter? May it not be but one of many vibratory rates of energy? It is. We are all familiar with the many vibratory rates of the electromagnetic spectrum, but the spectrum itself is but a section of the total cosmic spectrum. It is, in fact, the lowest part of all of the ancient cosmologies. That is Genesis, including their all 7 stages of the creation process, each which is its own vibratory rate, and each rate producing a different element. The planetary procedent of the 7 divisions of the atomic table. Now, I know this shit may sound real foreign to you, but you have to understand creation for real. These books that exist like this aren't to scare you. It's to wake you up to help you understand your biology, who you actually are. What he just described is what makes your ass up and what make up everything around you for real. But you don't believe that unless somebody else is telling you that shit. When your actual makeup is of what I'm explaining. Get it? All right, let's go. Keep going. All right. Let me get to this other part because I had to let you know and understand what you are. At least a part of that. I hope you caught on to some of that shit. Damn. All right, let's go. Let's get to Divine Fire. 27. 27 got a lot of good shit. Let's go to 27. Oh, yeah. Page 27. Yeah, let's do that. The scriptures, the concealed, in truth revealed. The time will come where our prosperity will wonder at our ignorance of things so plain. Damn. Whew. Genesis or creation, the priestly account, divine fire. Heaven and earth, century, circumference, were made of the same instance and time of clouds full of water, and man was created by the Trinity of the 26th of October, 4004 BC at 9 o'clock in the morning. This was priestly knowledge of creation in the 17th century AD. What then of the 17th century BC? It should be understood that there was at a time no knowledge of man's natural development, anthropology, or its the creative process, cosmology. Oh, cosmogony. To its priestly scribes, this world was the center of the universe, and the man, the sole center of its creator. That there other worlds and galaxies was quiet beyond their comprehension. So let us realize that the priests are no revealers of truth, but only keepers of traditions, and that the purpose of both the scribe and their later translators was not to reveal the truth, but to lay the basis of theistic religion based on the supernatural, and the basis of basis on the supernatural and terrifying. This account of the presence here of the awesome of word God. The original Hebrew did not use the singular word or the equivalent, but the plural, Elohim, many gods or aspects. Has this been followed? In the mental darkness of the monotheistic might have been dispelled. It should also be noted that the word Genesis does not mean something out of nothing. It is a derivative of the word gene, the life germ, thus implying generation, growth. This is the key to the mystery, and if we would solve, it must make a clear distinction between the God of religion and the creation and the creator of worlds. The one is human idea, the other is cosmic principle. These things understood and interpretation offered here will not seem so preposterous. We will not bore the reader with a verse by verse analysis, but with the Bible as seeming good way to begin. And so it is Genesis first. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earths. Okay. This very first verse disqualifies the Bible as authority or authority. The first verse disqualifies it as authority, for it implies that as foresaid lack of knowledge, the author did not know how the world was created. So he said, no, it's not he or she, he says, so he said a God created it. This is ignorance. Way of explaining what it does not understand. The authors resort to it here in reminiscent is something as literary critic once said, whether the author introduced a Chinaman to his story, I know that he is then written about something he knows nothing about. Oh, it's inscrutable. Chinese. So, with the author here, he too is writing about something he knew nothing about, mainly Caucasus creations. Caucasian creations, revelation of contrary. Revelation to contrary. And the earth was. Look, we ain't gonna go no further than that. We gonna pause, okay? We got to get to the next moment. I will advise you this, Christians. If you are a Christian, be a good Christian. I hope you do every damn thing that Bible say, because you damn sure don't know who wrote it. You don't know where it come from, and you refuse to accept when someone tells you the truth about it. You're so emotionally tied up in it. Because can't nobody question God. Bullshit. How the hell you know who the hell you is then? You allow somebody to tell you who you are, huh? You allow that? But you won't know you. That's crazy as hell. That's perplexed. And then you're afraid to know who you are as well. I know who I am. I know Jesus Christ. Shut your goddamn ignorant ass mouth. You know you do not know nothing. And you won't listen to shit either. But hopefully, some of you will listen to what I'm explaining to you right now. But some of you are going to cut it off, go to, I don't want to hear this shit. Yeah, I know. I see you. Let me turn the chat on. Let me see if I can turn my chat on, damn it. See if I can make, oh, damn. I should have did it from the beginning. No, wait. See if I can turn this chat on. Yeah, we're going to turn the chat on YouTube. It's open now. Okay. All right. Show. All right. Here we go. Let me just drop you down here. Check it out. Damn. Why you got to get in the damn way? Hide from here. All right, cool. All right. Let's get back to another something I can argue with y'all with, so that you can not trying to argue, I'm trying to edutain you. Ladies and gentlemen, stick with me now. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, because you're going to learn something on this show, I promise you. All right. So let's go to 43. That's a good place to go. That is, the scriptures in the concealed truth revealed. Eden, the Garden of Eden, paradise, etc. 43. Oh, yeah, we finna get to something here. 43. Let's dig this shit here. Hope you understand. Now, to understand these chapters, we must know where their Eden was and how different it was from the Garden of Eden. What paradise was and what took place therein. We generally think that Eden and the Garden of Eden as once, but the Bible says the Garden of Eden was planted eastward in Eden. Eden then was something bigger than a garden, and in fact, the planetary entity, it is pre-physical state and a prior to matter of mythic sources of evil. Eastward, that is forward, and that was the planet a garden. Now, in cosmology, what other garden is there save a long-bearing planet? In this case, the Earth. The Garden of Eden is the Earth itself. Planet eastward, that is forward in the creative process. The Hebrew word Eden comes out of a Babylonian name in the Mesopotamia, it's Gan Eden. The garden in the Middle East, the word Mesopotamia, also meaning middle land. So also the Norse Midgard, home of the gods. Throughout mythology, which included scripture, the middle. The east, the involution becomes the involution in the west, the evolution, thus the happy lands are always in the west. Bow, got your ass. Westland, in the middle ground between evolution and evolution, named the earth. How absurd then to think that the Garden of Eden would somehow Eden was somewhere in our Mesopotamia. How absurd also called the primeval world a garden. This is some more priestly concealment of the truth. Now, billions of years later, it is something in the garden, but Adam is still raising Cain in it. Really? And not because he ate the apple, but because of nature of being. Fair Eden is one with all the happy lands, always in the west, the hemispheres. Ellison Fields, Fortunate Isles, Isles of the Blissed and the Brave Vahalia, those passing is Gotterdammerung in the twilight of the gods. Prior to this, all was well with them. Thus was no matter of source of evil, and their food was nectar and ambrosia, symbols of etheric, astral, and mental elements. This is the paradise mythical man lost. We need not mourn for it. However, for it was not only well lost, but meant to be lost. The process must go on. So eastward it was. That lets you know right there what a Garden of Eden was. It was still here. Everybody wants to come to the west. Get to the west. Just get to the west. Yeah, you know what it is. Anyway, we're not talking about that tonight. We're talking about these myths. So, next whip moment. Learn what your version of Jesus did. See, a lot of you guys thinking, you think about a mythical Jesus. They're all mythical. There's one wasn't mythical, but there's 16 world crucified saviors. Where's my book by Kersey Graves? I don't even want to pick it up, but I will let you know this. There are a multitude of world crucified saviors. There's Mithra, there's Tammuz, there's a Buddha, there's Theo, there's Mithra, Dionysus. That was the first on the cross. You have, but the first, let's focus on the first. The first was Heru, Heru. What do you think you get the word hero from? Hero, the person that does what? Something selfless. You understand what I'm saying? Heru was the first recorded immaculate conception on the planet. You can go look it up. I know you want to act like it ain't true, but it is. So why don't you go and find out? Why can't you find that out? I can show you. But on this show, I don't show you everything. Sometimes I want you to get it for yourself. I refuse to give you every single answer because I'm not getting paid for this yet. So when I get to the Patreon and I start giving my real shows and giving you the snippets of what I'll be talking about, I will give you the whole ordeal, but you got to keep watching these shows in order for me to give you that, because that's what it's going to cost. But I promise you, on everything I love, you will get the most unadulterated truth on this show because I got the backing to do it. Been doing this a very long time, you understand. Let me get you to the next whip moment real quick, please. Why do Christians lie so much? Because it gave them the right to be evil or to live. Yeah, let's study this. See, Christians, you always talking about don't be putting that hocus pocus voodoo shit on me. Well, goddamn, that's not hocus pocus voodoo. How the fuck you think your shit exists? Think about it. God did not throw no goddamn book down here from heaven and say, read it. No, that did not happen. That's what some sick ass men did, trying to control you to separate you from you. And some people think that that's okay. That's your thought process, not mine. That's not okay for me. Because that shit didn't happen that way at all. Shit. The thing is, the world, just like we live day to day, just like you have what you would call a cycle is used as a religion, doing something repetitiously, doing something from a repetitious way all the time and getting good at it. So what did you think they was able to come up with these star systems? Somebody had to look at these damn stars and study these systems and constellations. And they studied behavior, how people changed. And they also, before that, had relationships with the actual beings that were here. How do you think the damn let me show you something real quick. Let me show you a book. Is it right? It's right over here. It's right over here. Let me see. Where you at? It's the Giants. The Book of the Giants. There's the book. Oh yeah. Where you at, man? Come on now. Where you at? Pimpin'. Come on. Damn books. Find it. Last over here. Here we go. I found it. Yeah, here we go. Got something to say now? About the old world here in America? Why do you think we some of the tallest people on the planet, man? Yeah, Africa got tall, but they got the biggest generation pool on the damn planet too. So, but this is unique. Americans are unique. Indigenous Americans are unique. So let me explain this to you about the mysteries of the lost copper mining giants. You hear that? The mysteries of the lost copper mining giants. There is also a solar hinge complex in Newark, Ohio, which consists of a stone circle that track the moon and the movements of the sun. Recent evacuations around the ditch and the hinge unearthed a pile of burnt wood. Carbon dating tests revealed that date between 1000 and 800 BCE, placing the hinge in a time frame that doesn't jive with the historian paradigm, but puts forth to established academia. In fact, the entire state of Ohio is home to a diverse amount of strange American anomalies, from mounds to giants to mysteries, ancient tablets. It seems that the Upper Ohio Valley was once hence a lost, forgotten race of giants. Could this be where the giant miners of Michigan decided to call home when they weren't hammering out copper, excavating mounds? In Chillicothe, Ohio, produced art ranging from the metal copper bird to numerous intricate carvings of effigy pipes, copper mask, and one report even a burial of an ancient giant decked out in copper armor found right here in the Americas. Shall I read a little further? Yes, I shall. Just for you, I will do so. The party, under direction of Chief Putin of the ethnological department in the exposition, who had been making excavation of the mounds of Ohio for several months, met a rare success near Chillicothe to making one of the richest found in a century in a way of prehistoric remains. While the work of the mound near Chillicothe, 500 feet long, 200 feet wide, and 28 feet high, they found the massive skeleton of a man is encased in copper armor, the head covered with an oval-shaped copper cap, the arms dressed in copper, with copper plates on his breast. Shit. The Indian mound, here it is right here. That's the mound. All right. Let me continue to read. Okay, let me go back and because I stopped to show you the picture. The copper plates on his breast and his stomach, while on each side of his head on protruding sticks their wooden antlers ornamented with copper. Mound excavation done in the 1800s revealed even more astonishing finds related to giants, including huge rust corroded iron helmets, 39-pound copper axes, elaborated conch and pyrala, shelled inspired necklaces, imported all the way in the Atlantic Ocean, mounds of Bainbridge, Ohio, revealed mummified bodies draped in pearls covered in robes, 500,000 freshwater pearls, and more giants decked out in copper helmets and armor. Hundreds of newspapers reported and commented on a vast amount of giant discoveries that they're being made in Ohio during the settlement of America, similar to those accounts from the 7 Points Daily Journal in 1886. People. Okay, Ohio accounted 9-foot giants. There you go. Let me read a little bit more about giants for you. Got another little Coronado and the giants of the West. Giants in Mexico. Giants in Canada. Giants in the Northeast. Hold on now. All right, here we go. This is what I really wanted to get to right here. Ancient giants and Native American myths and legends. All right. George Orwell must be rolling in his grave. Here's an account on the future dystopia ruled by the iron-fisted totalitarian elite of 1984 that basically came true in 2016. Orwell's fictional nightmare describes a society in which the government is continually revisiting history in order to reform. It is a desire of the ruling elite. Paradoxically, our society has evolved into a similar system of rewriting history as it sees fit. What is history, anyways? It is written by the winners. It is written that befits the elites while they continually suppress the real truth of the earth. It is history that keeps humanity distracted with wars, money, concerns, and religion. It is a history that forcibly educates societies to be ignorant of its own past and the shared histories of all beings. These ruling elites have managed to maintain control over the academic institutes and the media, allowing very little of the unapproved history to make it to the mainstream, and certainly not without ridicule and the allegations of hoaxing. But there is definitely proof regarding the existence of giants in the form of artifacts and in the historical accounts, especially in ancient Native American mythologies. Giants in Native American folklore have been described as being anywhere from 20 to 200 feet tall and large enough to capture humans by the way of hunting traps and rabbits, like following a list of the sample of the North American myths that that pertains to giants. The Apache, the Big Owl, was a wicked giant that often played with the boogeyman role in the children's stories. In the other Apache tribes, Big Owl was the early opponent of the war twins. Oh man, y'all should hear that story. In a significant role of the much feared mythology villain, the Big Owl giant, and described as being a red-headed man eating orcs with the ability of shape-shifting and a large flying owl capable of snatching up babies and small children. Yeah, there's some wild ass stories, man, for real. And you got the Inuit. The Inuit tribe emerged in western Alaska around 1000 CE, spread east across the Arctic, displacing the older and more mysterious Dorset culture. The Tunit. In the wake, the Inuit legs and the calm in the Tunit were giants and much stronger than the Inuit. So they got all of these myths. They got the Iroquois, the giants of speaking tribes, twice the size of normal humans, and were supposedly made stone because their flesh armor couldn't penetrate by arrows, and even the finest archers. These giants were also cannibals. They ate people. The Cree. The Wetoko were the giant cannibals of the Cree. According to the Canadian Indian mythology, and the Wetokos were draped in a coat of ice and loved to kidnap children and have them for dinner. The Navajo, according to the ancient stories of the Southwest Navajo tribes, cruel giants once roamed the earth looking for little children to catch and eat. I don't believe half this shit, but anyway, these were two new stories in some aspects, but a lot of these, there were big beings on this planet. So let me read in the Americas. Let me read you this. In 1899, Hiroto Barwell Cushman wrote The History of the Choctaw, Chickasaw, and the Natchez Indians, which he described the tradition of the Choctaws, told of a race of giants that once inhabited this now state of Tennessee, and with whom their ancestors fought when they arrived in the Mississippi. In their migration from the west, the tradition and state of the Naholo race of giants was a wonderful stature. According to the Choctaws, the Naholo were cannibalistic race of white giants that lived near the shores of the Mississippi River. The Comanches, the infamous tribe of the Great Plains, also had mythologies related to the mysterious giants. Chief Rolling Thunder described the ancient race of white giants in 1857. Innumerable moons ago, the race of white, 10 foot high and more rich and powerful than any white people now living in any inhabitable land, ranging in the country, extending in the rising and the settlement sun. These four fornications of crowned and summits and the mountains, protecting their populous cities, and situated in the intervening valleys. They excelled every other they excelled every other nation which was flourishing either before or since the man nearing the cunning, handcuffed, and brave and warlike ruling over the land, where they wrestled from the ancient porous possessors with a high and haughty hand, comparable with the pale face of the present day pygmies in both art and armor. Lands miles of the Rio Grande, all of those places. So those are stories of a lot of stories of those type of giants, and then you have Nephilims, a lot of those weird creatures, throwed off beings that were, they were dispelled in the Hunger Dryas. So the humans became extremely important to some gods, and in others meant nothing. That's why there were so many different. That's why I'm telling you guys, please stop thinking that the human history is only about 6,000 years old. No. The resilient species, and we're all different today. We're not a monolith. We're different beings. We're different type of humans. We all have different talents. But when we don't treat each other in a peaceful way, the planet heats up and we destroy a lot of things. Instead of being intricate builders, we become our worst enemy, the intricate killers. So understand a couple of things of what I'm trying to get you to understand too. These different aspects of time offer you different periods, different elements of the world, different people actually ruled globally. Yeah. But we know specifically the forever surviving, most smartest, most intellectual beings on the planet are yours truly, the global ones. I had a conversation with a friend of mine today, and he was talking about how the black race, I would say the African race, at one particular point in time produced a great deal of non-melanated children, albinos. Those albinos got special treatment. Because they wasn't as durable That's where you got, the stories in the Bible where they talk about Gentiles. Uh-huh. People don't change much from how they have constructed themselves. And it's a lot of times when you have been on top for so long, you forget your history, you forget everything about how you got what you got because you became so civilized. Or have you been civilized? Or were you just settled into your actions of continued perpetuation of solving your problems on the backs of other people? Now you have the whole world perpetuating these equations, solving their backs on other people. There's a lot of people kicking Nigerians. Nigerians are getting kicked out of every goddamn country in America or in the world. Goddamn, not just America. Trump just kicked them out. South Africa, Ghana, damn, they neighbors. It's the scamming. Dubai, they kicked them out. It's the scamming. It's the scammer. It's the scamming. It's the lying shit. It's all of that. Let me get to my next moment. Damn. All right. Addicted to being a damn child. That's what people that don't want to be accountable for shit, I call that being addicted. You're addicted to being a fucking child. That's all it is. It's the addiction to not wanting to be or not wanting to do, but always putting yourself in a position to blame. Let me get to the next moment because the show running a little longer than I wanted to. We need to never. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's the need to never grow up. I cannot be accountable because that's a sin. That's how some Christians think. Some Christians think you have the right to be fucking evil. You can do evil deeds and then go to Jesus and say, "Forgive me for what I did, Lord." That's fucked up. And then you'll say the devil made me fucking do it. That's a childlike mentality. That's a person that refused to grow up because you would do the shit again. That's not even logical. Be for real. Next moment. See, you see sin as you a sinful person and filthy as a dirty rag. That's bullshit. I'm a valuable being. I'm what God created. I don't see myself as nothing less or less than of nothing of no fucking kind. Miss me with that bullshit too. The sin is when you don't know who you are. Your sin is when you don't take time to understand who and what you are and how you are and how effective you can be on the planet. That's what a fucking sin is. Stupid motherfucker. Now I tell you, most Christians don't know shit about their own Bible. Yeah, you don't know the history of the Bible. You don't know where it come from. You act like you know who wrote it and don't know who wrote the fucking scriptures before it. Do yourself a favor. Find out who Flavian Calpurnius Josephus is. Find out who the Roman Piso family is. Find out who the Piso Christ is. Silly bastards. All you know of is lies because you feel like it benefits you. Whole fucking theologian school full of fucking lies. Fucking ridiculous. You don't know shit. That's your last moment. For Christians, Muslims, and most people on this planet refuse to acknowledge or know fucking nothing. You don't want to know shit. You know why? Because you're biased. And because you want to put your shit above somebody else's shit. And all you motherfuckers are wrong. All you wrong. All y'all are wrong as fuck. You don't know shit about you, so how can you understand spirituality? You don't know shit about you, about your biology, about what you're capable of. Damn, you can know something about that, but you refuse to. You're too busy destroying somebody else. That's your damn problem. That's a human condition. And it's fucked up too. The solution that I think people need to understand is how to do for self. Go home. Learn who you are. Learn your truth, your story, your mystery, your mastery. Learn that shit before you go to always talking shit about somebody else like you know who the fuck they is, like they don't know themselves. Get out of your fucking mind. Always in somebody else's business. That's the problem with most people. You don't know shit. That's the show tonight. Go learn something. I just taught you a lot tonight, but go teach your fucking self something. You should. You should. But I'm going to keep on doing it too, though. I'm going to keep on cooking. Because I know the alumni that watch the show, we know how to educate ourselves. We like sharing. We like exchanging good information in order for us to have another conversation. Ain't nothing wrong with a good debate. Ain't nothing wrong with a good, as long as we learn something. You understand? We have to learn something. Is it controversial? Yeah. But hell, how do you know if it's not the truth if you ain't never heard it before? If you haven't researched it, if you haven't verified it? Always be able to be subjective to something. Open yourself up to things you don't know. Watch outside energy and influences is what I'm telling you though. That's the catch. So being that you have to understand your outside influences, it's nothing. You watch fucking movies. You listen to music that talk about all kind of shit. You can't read a book. That goes against your religion to read a book. That goes against your religion to educate yourself. Come on, man. That's crazy. That's insane. Wow. Wow. That's a trip. So, instead of always trying to prove somebody wrong, how about participating in understanding something you may not know? The world is full of people that have no humility, don't want to know new shit, nothing. They just want to, kind of do what they like, do what they want. And most of the time is getting back to chilling and doing absolutely fucking nothing. The only way we're going to make it out of this equation is we got to understand the value of your surroundings, the value of what you can teach yourself, the value of what you can contribute to the planet. What are you contributing to the planet? At least I can show you something you may have never seen before. I may give you a perspective that you may not have given any thought. So I'm getting a little tired. This is the show tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. And guess what? We're getting AE back this week, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing well. He's recovering from his long trip from taking care of his late father. So that's the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, give him your ashes and your good energy to him. Let's get him a full welcome back to the show when he does come back. So, all right, I'm checking out tonight, but I'll be back. That's the show tonight. And guess what? Here we go. You got to say it with me. It's my favorite part of the show. We're gonna cover this. We're gonna cover this next show. Well, I told y'all I got this too. I done had this book for years and got a lot of studies out of this. This is the complete apocrypha. We're gonna go into some different stuff. Yeah. This is the complete work. 2018 version. I bought this some years ago. Conviction of the CCC. Yep, but Daniel, that's the end of the apocrypha with Daniel. But it covers Esther, Jasher. That's a big chapter. Jasher. Jubilees. Yep. 500 years of slavery. 500 years of distortion, corruption, and dismantling people. That's 10 jubilees. Oh, I tell you, that's 10 jubilees. Every 50 years, you're supposed to restore. So that's how you know that Caucasians they know nothing. through rules and regulations and all of that out of damn. I don't want to do that shit. Whatever. Fuck that. Anyway, that's the show tonight. That's it. We'll get back to it. But check it out. The wheel is yours. I'll be back. I'll y'all tomorrow.